All right, welcome everyone. This is the 2020 Virtual Alternative Gift Fair. My name is Mimi, and in this hour from 12 to 1, we will be hosting the African Mothers Health Initiative, Big Big World Project, Engage Globally, and the Afghan Relief Fund. So welcome everyone. This is our layout, as you can see on the screen, of the next hour. And it is my pleasure to welcome you. My name is Mimi, and I have been a volunteer with the Alternative Gift Fair since 2001. I've been a co-chair and lead coordinator of the Tacoma Park Fair for the past decade or so. And it's so wonderful that we're able to put this on virtually this year, since we can't be together in person. And I'm very grateful to my co-board members and to all the volunteers for showing up and making it possible to have a virtual fair. As many of your viewers might know, the Alternative Gift Fair was established in 1998, and it was established on the principle that sometimes during the holidays, it's important to have a variety of options of gifts to give. Alternative gifts are gifts of donation that are given to loved ones in lieu of or in addition to material gifts. By vetting and hosting hundreds of nonprofits that are locally based, we are able to support our organizations to do work both in our own neighborhood and around the world. It was, for me, a very important thing to step into this co-chair role. About a decade ago, the founders of the Alternative Gifts of Greater Washington, for various reasons, all needed to step down at the same time. And I had been volunteering with the fair for a number of years. I had a small child. And I thought to myself, it would be such a loss. It would be such a loss to the community and to myself and to my family to not have this opportunity, to not have this alternative available during the holiday season. One of the things that I love about the Alternative Gift Fair as an organization and as an event is that it gives people time to slow down, to be with their neighbors, to play, to get massaged, to decorate cookies, and to reflect on all the things that they're excited about, all the ways that they want to share, and all the ways that they want to give. Many of us are fortunate enough to have a home, food, to have the necessities. And sometimes the most relevant gift that we can give to someone over the holidays, or really any time of the year, is a gift of donation in their honor. And we can often pair these organizations with our receiver's personal interests. So if someone is particularly a lover of gardening and of growing gardens, we can match them with a group that works with inner city youth, providing information about how to grow your own food and food security through gardening. So I'll invite you over the next few hours to sit back and enjoy the presentations from our wonderful groups. AGGW is a volunteer-run organization, and we've done this for 22 years. We've raised over $250,000 for charities. And part of our process is that we make sure that we do the work so that you don't have to. We vet the organizations, we bring them together, and we allow you a single one-shop available experience. So I would like to say thank you to everyone that has made today possible. And I'd like to just read through who we'll be working with as our guests and viewers trickle in. Today, we're going to be spending some time with Genevieve from the African Mothers Health Initiative. We'll be spending some time with Bonnie from Big Big World Project, and we'll be spending some time with Heather from Engage Globally. I will encourage you, if you are listening in today and would like to ask questions, there will be a time for that. At the end of every presentation, you are invited to chat questions, and I will read them off to our presenters. Thanks so much for getting the word out to friends and family. If this is the type of gift that you would like to receive for the holidays or anytime, please let your loved ones know that they can find alternative gifts at aggw.org. All right, so I'm going to turn it over now to Genevieve from African Mothers Health Initiative. And Genevieve, what I'd like you to do is tell us a little bit about the gifts that your organization is offering this year, and anything that you would like to share about your organization or why you were involved, why you got involved, when you got involved, and what it means to you. So
Thanks so much, Mimi. Can you give me a thumbs up if you are able to hear? Excellent. Thanks so much for having African Mothers Health Initiative and me, and happy holidays, happy new year to all of you. I am Genevieve Grabman. I'm a longtime Tacoma, DC and Tacoma Park resident. And I am also the longtime treasurer of African Mothers Health Initiative. We are a 501c3 organization that has been in existence for about 12 years, and we provide mom and baby care to critically ill postpartum mothers and babies in Malawi, which is a country in Africa. I'm particularly devoted to AMHI because I had a catastrophic childbirth of very sick twins about 5 years ago. And fortunately, I survived that childbirth, as did my twins. But I stopped counting the medical bills when they exceeded $1 million. In Malawi, maternal and infant mortality rates are among the highest in the world, and hospitals and clinics are severely understaffed there. This means that if you have a birth of a twin or a triplet, and they're very high in Malawi, the majority of those children die. And of those children that die, they generally die in the first year and even in the first month after birth. Women too often die in childbirth. I believe there's like a 1 in 10 chance, lifetime chance, that you will die in childbirth in Malawi, because critically ill women and children cannot reach facilities in time to save their lives. So we are a small, person of color, women-led organization. We have no paid employees in the United States. We hire nurse midwives, Malawian nurse midwives, who understand their communities the best, and we provide home-based nursing care in the cultural context of the communities served in Malawi, such that 95% of the women and children we serve survive. We have 3 gifts that we are offering today, and through the 31st of December, I'm excited to hear, through AGGW. The first, I'm going to start with our $30 gift, is 2 visits to a mom or baby by a nurse midwife in Malawi. We will follow a critically ill mom or baby to their home and provide nursing care for the baby for the first 2 years of that baby's life, and for the mother for the first 6 months postpartum after a catastrophic childbirth. The second gift, at our $15 level, is a supplemental food package to a breastfeeding mom. Of course, the people we serve in Malawi are subsistence farmers. They don't have 2 cents to rub together. They live in earth-made huts with dirt floors, and they have no money whatsoever to purchase formula. So in so much as if the mother survives childbirth, if we can feed her enough, the hope is she can produce enough breast milk to care for her child. So we provide supplemental food packages for our nursing mothers who have survived childbirth, such that they're able to nurse their critically ill newborns or multiples. The last gift I'd like to describe to you and would ask for your support for is a month's supply of formula for an orphaned infant. The question we get over and over and over at every gift fair that I ever have participated in over the past decade is, why would you buy formula? And the answer is, if the mother is dead, there is no other way to feed the baby. Our number one cost, other than transportation to get our nurse midwives to our patients in need, is for formula for orphaned children. And it's not just the formula that makes the difference, is that we send a nurse midwife to the community. We teach the caregivers how to prepare the formula. We teach them to boil the water, to take the little cup, to drip it in the baby's mouth, such that the child lives. The alternative of no formula is unfortunately a non-living child. So the way we're able to achieve a 95% survival rate with our babies is that we are able to feed them when there is no other alternative. I'd also note that HIV prevalence in Malawi is very high, so wet nursing is not, unfortunately, available to us, nor is milk banking due to the lack of electricity. So the last gift is our $65 level of a month's supply for a formula for an orphaned infant. So those are our 3 gifts. That describes a little bit about how our methodology, it's not just giving people something, it's working in context with the community and with a Malawian nurse who knows her community the best to help save moms and babies who otherwise would not survive. Because there, but for the grace of God, go I, and perhaps many others like me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Genevieve. Yeah, that's quite a story, and I'm so glad to hear that you and your twins were able to get through that, because I think for every person that is viewing this, we know either through our own experience or through a loved one's experience just how the act of birth and the that sort of place where we're between the worlds, right? We have one foot in this world and one foot in the world where we're beckoning our child's soul, our baby into this world. That it's quite an important time, and I really appreciate that you spent the time to explain about the formula and why formula. And it makes a lot of sense with the prevalence of HIV, why wet nursing would not be a good alternative. So it's really helpful to hear that. I know that myself, I've purchased these gifts for midwives. I've purchased them for friends that are in the birth work community. I've purchased them for friends that have adoptive children and friends that have ties to Malawi. So there are a million wonderful reasons to purchase these gifts. I love that you have midwives going into the communities and educating people. I know that for me as a new mom, there are all of these feelings and hormones, and especially when supplies are low, when getting the food that you need so that you can nurse is scarce. It's really important. So thank you so much for coming out today. I hope everyone that's viewing this will consider if there's someone in their world that would feel and be touched by any of these gifts. One of the things to mention is that when we give out a certificate, and I'll just hold one up, when we give out a certificate, and this is what would be downloadable or printable, For folks that cannot get to download them, you can be in touch with me. But this does not include the dollar value. So when you get a certificate, it's going to say a gift of, and then list what the gift is, has been given in your honor to, and then it'll state the group. So it might say, African Mothers Health Initiative. And then it would tell a little bit about the blurb underneath is really to explain who is this charity? What work do they do? Who do they impact? So thank you so much. It's wonderful to have you out. Genevieve has been one of our star volunteers that helps decorate the hall so that it is looking very beautiful. I'm looking forward to working with you, Genevieve, next year to get the gym ready. Fingers crossed that we can do an in-person event next year. So I will shift, and we will next be hearing from Bonnie. Bonnie works with a charity called the Big Big World Project. And Bonnie, if you can tell us a little bit about who is the Big Big World Project? What gifts are you offering this year? What got you involved, and what makes you feel passionate about working with this organization? I think we're so lucky to have so many people locally. I always joke that Tacoma Park has the highest per capita of people that have regular day jobs and nonprofits that they run. So welcome, Bonnie. And tell us all about Big Big World Project.
Thank you, Mimi. I'm so honored to be here today and to be participating in the gift fair again. So Big Big World supports the needs of kids living in 2 orphanages in Vietnam, one in the southeastern part of the country and one outside of Ho Chi Minh City. We have about 30 kids, including 5 that are currently attending university. Our goal is very simple. It's to help put the kids on a path to independence so that when they age out of the orphanage, they're able to support themselves and therefore not susceptible to trafficking. We cover education, health, and well-being needs. And if the kids can pass university entrance exams, we pay for college tuition and fees. We've sent 13 kids to college so far and trade school. We're a small volunteer organization, but we think our impact is pretty mighty. We have kids now that have degrees in mechanical engineering, in banking and finance, in culinary arts. We have kids who have started their own successful businesses. And our kids give back. When we do our yearly visit to Vietnam, they come with us and go back to the orphanage and mentor their younger brothers and sisters. It's a beautiful thing to see. Some of our kids are even have families of their own right now. They're living very independently. In fact, one of our kids just got married yesterday. And looking at the wedding photos coming in from Vietnam, to see him and to think about the little boy I met 12 years ago in the orphanage, it's just amazing. So we work very closely with the caregivers at the orphanage and with our in-country staff person, Tao, to identify the needs. And we have 3 pressing needs that we are offering as gifts this year. The first, well, for the orphanage outside of Ho Chi Minh City, they have a lot of little ones there, about 20. And when we asked them what they needed, they talked to us about taking the kids to school. So they have 2 caregivers that take the kids to school each morning on scooters. And they have to put 2 kids behind them or 1 kid, go to the school, drop them off, come back, get the next 2, go to the school, drop them off over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, repeat the same process. What they needed was bus transportation. Last year at the gift fair, we were able to offer this as a gift, and generously, you all helped fund a year of bus transportation. So no more of this. Instead, there they are, in their little uniforms, getting ready to get on the bus. So for just $9, that will cover the cost of 1 child for a month to go back and forth to school. It gets them to school safely, and it also frees up time for the caregivers who aren't spending hours each day taking kids all around town, which personally, I relate to that one a lot, although not so much since the pandemic. For our second gift, it's $25 for a month of living expenses or incidentals for our older kids. Now, while we are able to fund tuition and through donations, we've found that kids also in college need a little extra money for things like food or rent or maybe an English class. So for $25, that would help kids like Tan, who just started college in Ho Chi Minh City, where rents are rising like dramatically and very quickly. For our kids who are in high school, and we have 3 of them right now, this money goes into an account and helps them with little incidental expenses, but also provides a cushion so that when they get ready to leave the orphanage, whether they're going to college or an apprentice program where they're going to have to buy supplies and maybe transportation, they have a little bit to help them get out there in the world. If you have older kids, I know you can relate to this, right? And then for the third gift, well, the third gift has to do with health. You know, when we started Big Big World in 2008, we focused a lot on education, but you know, you quickly learn there's a lot more to helping a kid be successful in school than books and supplies. Kids can't learn if they can't read the blackboard. They can't learn if their teeth hurt. So we started funding yearly dental and vision exams. The first year when we went over on our yearly trip and took all the kids to the dentist, a shocking number of teeth were pulled without Novocaine. Some of these children had never been to the dentist before. Now they're all doing great. They're getting great checkups, and that yearly visit is so important. And the confidence. I mean, some of our kids needed serious dental work. We had one little girl who never smiled because she didn't want anyone to see her crooked, crowded mouth. And then through donations, we were able to fund dental care for her. And now, I mean, she's a different person. So this gift for $50 will cover 1 year of the dental visits or eye exams for one child. And so thank you for letting me talk about Big Big World. You can see photos of our kids and read their stories on our website at bigbigworld.org. And for anyone watching, I'm happy to answer additional questions at info@bigbigworld.org. Thanks.
Great. Thanks so much, Bonnie. Yeah, that's what a wonderful story. I love just thinking, you know, because I know I've had root canals before. I know how distracting it is when your teeth hurt, and obviously I have glasses, so I know how hard it is when you can't see what's being taught to you. So sounds like those are some really wonderful projects that you've been doing, and yeah, and I think that we all forget how lucky we are, that we sort of sometimes take for granted the fact that you can, you know, get your teeth fixed when they hurt, and that you can get your prescription adjusted when you're over 50 and need your trifocals or whatever it is. So it sounds like a really wonderful opportunity to be able to make some really big impacts that are going to allow them to be there, be focused, attend, and really get the most out of that education. And I love that they have these long span, you know, that you're really with them. I think for all children, that level of consistency, that level of knowing someone's there for you, and knowing that not only are they there, but that there's layers of people behind them, right? That there's layers of people here making little, medium, or large contributions as they can to really, you know, just knowing that sort of stability is there, really, I'm sure is quite a big contribution to that transformation that you're seeing in the children.
Yes, Mimi, thank you. Yeah, we do definitely pride ourselves on the consistency. It's why we do a yearly visit. We have seen these children from very young to now, you know, having their own children, and we feel like grandmothers. It's just wonderful. Um, we do get all of our funding. I saw a question pop up through donations. We have wonderful donors who we like to think are also helping these children grow up and thrive.
Great. And do you happen to know, and it's fine if you don't, approximately the percentage of donations that you get from the gift fair versus your regular donors throughout the year?
Oh, that's such a good question, and I don't know. The gift fair is a huge part of our fundraising every year, though. And we, again, we dedicate projects to the gift fair, like that bus transportation, for
Mhm.
instance. Um, so uh, we love the gift fair because people have always been so generous to us and helped us to do so many things with the kids.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie, for letting us know. And I will just mention, but before I introduce Heather, that one of the things that we do as an organization is we ask every 501c3 to provide to us a letter of commitment that the funds that they get are going to be earmarked. So you can know as a contributor that if you give $100 to a group for that dental visit, that the funds can only be used for that. So not only are we vetting organizations to make sure that they're in good standing as 501c3s, but we're also making sure that the funds that are delivered for particular items are actually going to be used that way. So thanks so much, Bonnie.
Thank you. Thank
Hope
you
you
very
have a
much.
wonderful year. Yeah. And so now I'm going to shift and we're going to be welcoming Heather. Heather is here with a group called Engage Globally. And as you could tell from the name, she's going to be talking about the work that they are doing. And so Heather, just let us know a little bit about your group, about the gifts that you're going to be offering, about the populations that you're supporting with your gifts, if there are ways for people to reach out to you, ask you questions, just let me know, and I will be checking in on the chat on the side. So I'll hand it over to you, Heather.
Well, thank you so much, Mimi, and to AGGW for hosting this and organizing this. I know it's been quite a challenge in the virtual format, but also a lot of fun. I'd also like to say thank you to Bonnie and Genevieve. One of the great aspects of your alternative fair, both virtually and in person, is getting to meet people from other organizations and learning about their approaches and success stories. So a big congratulations, Bonnie, to your student for his or her wedding. That's very exciting and a great story. So Engage Globally, like the two other organizations that have presented, works internationally. We work primarily at this moment with 6 communities in rural northern Ghana. And that's a population of about 10,000 people. And what distinguishes us, or maybe what's important to know about us, is 2 things. Like AMHI, we are an entirely volunteer organization here in the US, which means that every dollar donated, we're able to send about 95 cents to programs. And that means your money goes a long way. And I think donors like to know that. The second thing is that we are what is called community-led or community-led sustainable development. And what that means is that we work with local partners and local residents, and they pick the projects and design the projects and implement the projects. And we think that's really important because we believe that local people have the cultural knowledge, the community knowledge, both to be more effective in project implementation, but also to know what works and what doesn't. One of the things that nonprofits rarely talk about is failures, but we actually like to have small failures because we learn from them. And because we have community-led development, our partners are able to stop and change and do new things really quickly. And so we found that this year with our COVID response, our partners were able to feed people and distribute soap and help with hand washing and even continue education when other community areas were not. So we're very community focused, and we're very proud of that sort of dynamic and perspective on development. So today and through this fair, we are highlighting 3 gifts that reflect the 3 components of our program, really. And our first gift is actually something I used 2 years ago with this fair, and it was designed for children. So if you have a child or a grandchild who wants to give a gift, this is our $5 gift. And I really like it because what your child would be doing is helping another child go to school for a week. And $5, people say, can $5 really do that? $5 actually can send a child to school for a week in rural Ghana. And the reason for that is that there aren't really any schools in the community where we work. There's one small elementary school to serve about 5,000 children. That school has 2 classrooms and 1 teacher, and that teacher typically comes 1 day a week. So we offer 2 schools, and we're currently educating about 320 children in those schools. And each child who goes to one of our schools gets a daily lunch to help combat malnutrition, a school uniform, and a pair of shoes. And for the children who have to travel a distance, they also get a bicycle. So your $5 provides all of that. And one of the reasons, again, that money can go so far is that we are working with, as AMHI is working with, communities that are subsistence farmers. And so all of these people live below the global poverty line of $1.90 a day. So your first gift would help us with our early childhood education program. A lot of people ask me at this point in longer presentations what happens when they finish that 3rd grade class. Those students who want to continue to school and are able to pass the national exams, we fund them to continue their education at private schools. So we provide scholarships for children from grade 3 all the way up to grade 12. And this year we're very hopeful that we will have our first student who qualifies to go to college. He will be the first person to go to college out of all 6 communities ever. So we're kind of excited about that. Our second gift is a little bit different. It's actually a tree. And so our schools are taught on what's called a place-based curriculum. And what that means is that the local teachers, and all of them come from the local communities, teach children based on what's around them. So if you've ever been in kindergarten class, you know you do A is for apple. Well, we do G is for goat and T is for tree. And what they do is they take the children outside and then the children plant trees and they study those trees. They read books about those trees. They have responsibilities to water the trees. And so we really integrate it into our educational curriculum. Our tree planting project is a $25 gift here at this fair. And again, a lot of people will say, why $25 for a tree? That seems like a lot. And it is a lot. And that's because we actually purchase native trees. We plant them as seedlings. And then, as I said, the children help plant them and grow them. We also, the local partners have to construct a fence to protect the trees from goats and other challenges. And we hire a full-time person who's in charge of watering the trees to make sure that they survive and thrive. This is close to a desert area, so you really have to take care of plants to make sure that they make it. So your $25 isn't just paying for a seed to go in the ground, it's paying for a tree to be used in an educational program, as well as for the tree to thrive and grow. And finally, I'd like to mention that almost all of the trees that are purchased are fruit trees. And so once again, this helps to address malnutrition. Malnutrition and reducing it is a component of all of our community partners programs because unfortunately it is rising with changes in rainfall and temperature in the region. Our third gift that we are hopeful that you all will help with is actually a goal for 2021. So I want to be honest, we haven't done it yet. We've planned it out. We're really excited about it. But what we'd like to do is we'd like to place solar panels on our early childhood education centers. These communities do not have access to electricity or clean water or sanitation. And we would like to address the electricity component with these solar panels, excuse me. And the solar panels are going to do a couple of things for us. First of all, they're going to allow the teachers to use a computer and to be able to show videos in class. And so we cannot wait to show Sesame Street to 320 kids. We just think it's going to be almost mind-blowing to them. We just know they're going to love it. The second thing is that it will allow for evening use of the classrooms. And so we'll be able to do English language training, some public health classes for the mothers in our program, and also make our PTA association meetings more accessible to the farmers because they're more able to come after the sun sets. Finally, and this is a little complicated, but it's really important for sustainable development, these solar panels will be attached to cell phone charging stations. And those charging stations, the local community members will be able to bring their phones. And so again, they don't have electricity, so charging a phone is a real challenge. They'll bring their phones to the schools and they'll pay the equivalent of about 5 cents to charge their phone. And our community partners will collect each of those 5 cents and they will put it in a fund so that they can repair the solar panels if and when they eventually break. And that's what community-led sustainable development means. It means you're investing in a project that will be maintained, will last long-term, and that the community is committed to. And so everything that we do, we make sure that we have a plan for the long term. And I think that's a really exciting way to approach development. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to thank everybody for your support, and once again, thank AGGW for their support. If you'd like to learn more about our organization, you can visit us at engageglobally.org, or you're welcome to email me. I am the volunteer director, and you can reach me at engageglobally.org. And I'd love to talk about these things. And just a quick push, I also love to make presentations to classes and organizations. So if any of you ever need a guest speaker, we really enjoy talking about our work elsewhere. Thank you, Mimi, for your time.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Heather. You know, as you were speaking about well, I'm going to comment on a few things. As you were speaking about the solar project, I was remembering my daughter for school read a book called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Which is all about that sort of scientific mind, entrepreneurial, I can do it, you know, and bringing electricity into communities where there was none, and using things like being able to charge cell phones. And I really appreciate the thought and consideration that's been put into sort of layering these fully baked concepts of how do we affect change? How do we affect change at a really sustainable long-term level? And when you were talking about the trees, I really appreciate, you know, I think probably one of the only downsides of being one of the organizers of the fair is I really don't get a chance to go around and talk to you all. So I'm sort of thrilled that we're doing it this way, because I don't get a chance to talk to the table. So, you know, like hearing from Genevieve why the formula, and, you know, hearing from you why it costs $25, and that makes a lot of sense, right? You can't, if the animals come and just eat up the little sapling, or making sure it's watered when there's drought, especially, you know, a lot of what you were talking about was we're all being affected by global warming. We're all being affected by the myriad of ways that it is impacting the world. And sometimes in our first world climate controlled life, you know, we don't always remember the vast effects of climate change and how it really can just sort of unfurl an ecosystem. So that is wonderful. And yeah, and I just, anyway, so it's great to be able to hear what you're saying. And I do think that having time to be able to explain these various things, I'm really glad that we're going to be recording this, that we are recording this, that we're going to be able to distribute this to people, that people can take time. I love that there are people here, and I would encourage you, please type questions into the chat, because I'd love to be able to ask all of our representatives that have taken time to be here today any questions that are percolating. You know, there's never any wrong questions. But yeah, I am just really noticing how in this interaction, even though it's on Zoom and it's sort of one at a time, I'm getting a lot that I've never really been able to get. I'm getting a deeper sort of wider lens on the work that each of you do. So it's it's wonderful to me that we're doing this. So thanks so much, Heather, for being here today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to be shifting now. We have our last presenter who is going to be talking during this hour. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to be inviting Maruf. Maruf is here representing the Afghan Relief Fund. The Afghan Relief Fund has been with us many years at the Alternative Gift Fair and was actually connected to us by one of our board members. So I will just turn it over. Maruf, if you could tell us your 3 gifts, a little bit about your organization, anything that you want to say about your own personal connection to the organization, the people that you serve, that would be lovely. Please.
Sure. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for providing this platform so we can share what we're doing out there. So God bless everybody here who's part of it ahead of time. So yes, Afghan Relief Fund, we were established back in 2001. Our main focus was to pick up street children who has lost at least one parent due to the internal war for the past 30 years or maybe 35 years. So that was the initial. Now, if most of these kids are bringing food on the table, no matter how old are they, most of them might be like 6 or 7 years old. So they are a source of income for their mom. Majority are dad had passed away or been killed during the war. So mom is the only person who's taking care of the family. Now, if we pull these kids and put it on a school, then what gonna happen to that income? So a part of our mission is also to help those widow moms with a little income that they can also they can also have a peace of mind not to take the kids back from our school and put it back to the street. Our third mission is that we survey. I mean, we don't have the capacity to pick up a lot of kids. Right now, it's only 104 kids in our school where we provide them education, food, and shelter, like 24/7, 365 days. We made a building there. But again, there are so many widow moms out there that we don't have the capacity to pick it up, and they also don't have the right income. So 4 times in a year, we throw a fundraising, we do our survey to pick up the most needy family in the community, and then help them with some donations that we pick up from our sources. And then as far as we in the United States, we are all volunteer. We do not have overhead. I myself, I work for PNC Bank. I'm an MBA student trying to finish that one. In the meantime, I'm helping them. So, and then this is our, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is our website. That's our address. Reza Afshar is the founder. He himself is a businessman, so that's how he can afford to run those orphanages. But at least he has some good friends, some good community members like yourself, like a lot of us are helping. And that's my name and that's my phone number. So I'm gonna show this at the end of this program. If anybody wanna reach out to me, to him, by all means you can do that. And then so back to this one. I know I didn't have access to go to FedEx and print the color copy, but I just did the black and white. So a $30 that you support is gonna help one kid for a full month to provide food, education, and shelter, definitely. And then for these kids, moms, so we will at $25 gonna provide a 1 month food for a widow of 3 family member. And then we also have our quarterly donation. A $20 will help a family of 3. Normally it's a bag of flour, oil, or rice, and that's it, pretty much it. So that's the idea. We do have a Facebook page under the same name, Afghan Relief Fund. Our website is not that up to date. I'm working myself on it. I'm not a big tech person. Sometimes my wife helps me with that, but there are plenty of pages, plenty of pictures that shows our quarterly, annually updates there. Right now, we have more than 500 kids graduated from a school. Majority of them, believe it or not, they're already helping the community. They're high school teachers, they're police officers to keep the community safe. We have a few athletes. And then a few of them, we had a very harsh news that one of them who joined university, there was an attack there, and then she was also one of the victims. So they are going to their higher education. We still have contact with them. Some of them are coming back to us and helping us back when they're a little more established. And that's it. And then not to forget, our organization is basically all of them are in Kabul, Afghanistan. I think that's it on my part. Any question? Anything you guys want to ask?
Yeah, thanks, Maruf. I will just say that I know in the past gift fairs, there have been a lot of, you all have been one of the top sellers. A lot of people really love your organization. And what I heard you say is that over the years that you've been working, there have been 500 graduates. So 500 of these children have been able to go on to higher education. That has really provided some stability for them. That has allowed their moms to be able to let them be in school and to continue to make an income. It sounds like it's a very stabilizing influence on Kabul. And I guess just anything else that you want to say personally about why you love this work, what it means to you, anything that someone that's considering making a purchase, just anything that you'd like to mention about
Sure.
you personally.
Definitely. About myself, I mean, I used to work for United Nations in Afghanistan. So I think when I was going there to orphanages as a part of UNICEF, it just gave me internal peace. When you feed a baby, when you put a book in front of them. So it was when you come home, you're blessed. You have that peace, internal peace, number one. Number two, I think why I'm so in love in this is just I mean, we have plenty of people out there that they're poor, they don't have the food, they don't have the right education. But the concerning point is that if we let those kids out there, the extremists will pick them up, brainwash, and then it's going to be a mess. So that's where we're concerned. That's where we people in the United States are volunteering, and that's basically at least personally, that's my intention. If I can pick up more kids, it means we have more people who can bring good back to community versus evil back to the community. So that's just me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really is a very vulnerable population. And like you're saying, you're providing options, you're providing a safe haven, you're providing structure, you're providing, right, what they need to be well cared for. And so you were saying that right now you have, I believe you said 104 kids in this program that are being housed and fed and clothed. If you received more funds, do you have infrastructure that you could take more? I'm just trying to, to incentivize people. What is your capacity there?
A very good question. I mean, I talked with Rizal a couple of months ago. It's like, hey, can I run another fundraising, like maybe in a soccer game or a basketball game here in Virginia, to be able to buy a little more land. I think there's a piece of land next to that to be able to build another building. To increase the capacity. He said that yes, he has some donors there, but again, back in Afghanistan, of course, if you wanna build another building, of course you need permit. You need zoning. There's a lot of things that he's going through, and the fact that he only goes there 4 times in a year, that also makes a little life difficult. I mean, you got to be there to work. So I'm planning. At least I promised him that maybe once a year, then I can go. That will add one more time of us visiting there, running for the permit, running for finding the right project. So it is in our to-do list. Nothing will come soon. It takes time, but yes. And then another, speaking about 104 kids, half of them are girls. And why is that? First, it's a very conservative community. They don't let based on culturally and religiously, they are not going to allow you to pick up the girls and put them in a school without mom's supervision. They trust us. So it took us a while to explain ourselves. Number 2, I think during the extremists, during the Taliban regime or Al-Qaeda regime, girls were the most affected. My mom was a high school teacher. My oldest is a high school teacher. They had no job for that 8 years. So me coming from from a family that was affected, because I have a sister, because I'm my mom, we really concentrate on girls too. We pick up, we explain ourselves to their uncles, to their grandpa, or their moms, like, hey, they're gonna be safe. So yeah, 50% of them are girls too. So.
That's really wonderful, Marif. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and for telling us all about your wonderful organization. Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for providing that this platform. Again, this is our website, AfghanReliefFund.com. Our address is in Manassas, Virginia, and some phone numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So as we close this first hour of our virtual fair, I will just say, it's really important that each of us that are here, each of us that are listening in, or perhaps viewing this at a later time, just think about the groups that you want to support. I will say one of the fun features of our online shopping that I have already taken advantage of, I said to my husband, our holiday shopping is done. We have an express shopping cart for people that have very busy lives and know that they want to support people. You now have the option to purchase one of every low-cost gift from every organization, including AGGW. When you purchase one of every low-cost gift, you will literally get that. You'll be supporting every organization, because it's sometimes you don't want to make a choice. You're like, but they are so good and they're so good. You don't want to have to choose between them. So there is an opportunity that you can choose every low-cost gift. There's an opportunity to choose every middle-cost gift. There's an opportunity to choose every higher-cost gift, and of course, an opportunity to buy all of them. So maybe if you have a big extended family, maybe you can get everybody to pitch in a little bit, and the family together could buy all the gifts and do that, sort of gift exchange thing for the holidays. And really don't feel limited that, we did pick pick a holiday snowflake theme, but don't feel like just because it's a holiday theme, you have to go with, give it to your niece in the spring, give it to your, college friend for their birthday. There's lots of opportunities to give these gifts all year round. If folks, as I mentioned, if folks are watching and you're really excited about the people that you just heard from, you're really pumped up to purchase those gifts, but for some reason you can't get to a computer, you can't get to a printer, there is an option online. So as you go through the shopping list, you can just click every gift that you want to get, and then you'll see a little shopping bag. When you click that shopping bag, you will be prompted and invited to give a donation to AGGW. As you all know, this is our first virtual fair, and one of the things we as a nonprofit do in order to be able to host all of these wonderful groups, we have 17 this year, and on average, we're about that, between 15 and 20 per year. We normally make money from selling cards, doing raffles, bake sale, etc. Because we're not able to do that, and because we have had extended costs this year creating this beautiful new website. Thank you very much, Miles Smith. If anybody needs a website designer, Miles Smith is wonderful. We have exhausted our funds. So if you, this is the certificate you would get. So if you like or really like or love Alternative Gifts of Greater Washington, the funds that you would be giving, and you will get one of each of these with your by each level. That is going to help provide so that we can run this year's fair, run next year's fair. We always cover all of the credit card costs. When I came in, the group before me that was running the fair did not take credit cards because they didn't want any of the money to go away from the charities. And one of the decisions that I made when I came on was I said, well, I think we're going to make more money for our charities if we can take credit cards. Why don't we cover the costs? So we cover all of the fees associated with credit card purchases. We cover all of the making of, and I will tell you, these flyers are not cheap to make. So, we're covering all of that. So if you feel like showing AGGW some love by buying one of our gifts, that would be wonderful as well. And as we're rounding the hour, I'll just say thank you so much to Genevieve, to Bonnie, to Heather, and to Maroof for coming out, for being such eloquent spokespeople for your organizations. As a person that volunteers and has day jobs as well, it is just so wonderful to have you out. I know how much our hearts are invested in these organizations that we run, volunteer with, etc. You all are doing amazing work in the world, and we're so happy that we've had you so many years. We look forward to having you again. I'm really excited, Heather, to hear about how the solar panels go. I really am looking for a 2021 update on how the solar panels turn out, and of course information about people that are going through your schools. I'd love to hear about the kids that have gone through schools. I'd love to hear about the all of the moms and the babies that are being cared so well by the African Mothers Health Initiative. So thank you all for being here. I will give over the screen to my friend Jim. And I just wanted to mention just a quick shout out. We do have many of our board members here. I am so grateful to all of our board members for making this year so successful. And I would just love to say that the woman that is womaning, not manning, the invite and accepting is our newest board member, Laura, who has been doing an amazing, she wins a VIP award for amazing first year. She's our newest board member. She's our VIP for volunteering this year. She's been putting out all of the gorgeous social media posts. So please remember that we are going to keep doing sales. Our sales will be going through the year. So if you're seeing this live or if you're seeing this on a recording, it's not too late. Please let your friends, loved ones know if this is the type of gift you want to receive. Let everybody know that. Send them to our website. All right, thanks so much. I'll hand it over to you, Jim.